14 minutes later, the Empress sank into the St. Lawrence River. Of the 1,477 people on board, 1,012 died. As a kid, I remember hearing the Salvation Army Band playing on the street in front of their citadel, which was south of the Capitol Theatre. Probably their saddest day had been years before, when on the morning of May 29, 1914, the Empress of Ireland was rammed. Although the tragedy impacted the whole country, the Salvation Army bore the brunt of the blow, losing almost 150 of its members that included senior leaders and 29 members of the 41-piece staff band. All the Salvationist passengers were making their way to London, England, for an international congress. Often described as Canada's Titanic, the loss of lives resembled that disaster, but it was not the Empress's maiden voyage. The deadly collision is only part of the historical significance linked to the steamship and Canada. The Empress had made 95 transatlantic crossings before it went down, bringing over 120,000 European immigrants to a new life in Canada. Here's where it happened. This is but one of the scenarios of what happened. The Empress sighted the masthead lights of the SS Storstad, a Norwegian ship carrying coal, on her starboard bow at a distance of several miles. Likewise, Storstad, on a virtual reciprocal course, sighted the Empress of Ireland's masthead lights. These first sightings were made in clear weather conditions, but fog soon enveloped the ships. The ships resorted to repeated use of their fog whistles. Captain Kendall sees a Storstad come out of the fog about 30 meters away. Collision, it seems, was unavoidable. He orders full speed ahead to avoid the worst. The Storstad strikes the Empress of Ireland at a 45-degree angle near the center of the ship. Kendall yells in a voice pipe not to reverse engines to keep the boat stable and keep the hole plugged up. The Storstad remains stuck in the Empress of Ireland a short time. The Storstad's captain tries to stay there by ordering full ahead, but the current is too strong and the ships separate. The fog clears shortly after the collision. A gaping hole in her side caused the lower decks to flood at an alarming rate. There was no time to shut the watertight doors, and the water entered through open portholes. Minutes after the collision, the ship lurched violently onto her starboard side, allowing as many as 700 passengers and crew to crawl out of the portholes and decks onto the port side. About 12 minutes later, the ship sank. As reported in the newspapers at the time, there was much confusion as to the cause of the collision, with both parties claiming the other was at fault. What remains lies only 130 feet below the river's surface and is gradually being covered by silt. Over the years, numerous artifacts have been collected, but the site is dangerous due to the cold water, strong currents, and restricted visibility. As of 2009, 6 people had lost their lives on the dive. Following the disaster, the Storstad remained afloat, but in need of major repair. After the Commission of Inquiry, the repaired Storstad continued transporting coal, flying the flag of neutral Norway. In the spring of 1917, when the Imperial German Navy's campaign of unrestricted submarine warfare was at its peak, Storstad was engaged on a mission of charity. Even though she was a neutral ship with a neutral crew, flying a flag of the American Commission for the Relief of Belgium and showing the designated markings of a relief ship, she was torpedoed and sunk. Among many memorials, the Empress of Ireland monument and mass grave can be found at Rimouski, Quebec.